Hello, hello, and welcome, everyone. I am your host and one of the producers of the LizyT Show. How are you doing this evening? Morning for some of you. I know the show has been watched in UK and Australia, and also obviously here in Canada and the beautiful United States. So I'm very excited to be able to be here to share another author, another entrepreneur, another speaker. We've been having a plethora of people from the States lately, and it's been incredible. Thanks to the coach, Sugar Ray, who has united us, has brought us together to meet incredible and very inspirational people. And today, everyone, that is not going to be the exception. If you're interested in being part of the show, please do not hesitate to connect with us. We are live not only on all social media platforms, but obviously my website, LizyT.com, and obviously my YouTube. So connect with us. Tell us why do you think that you would like to be here on the show. Also, if you would like to sponsor the show, we need sponsor. Remember, without your contribution, this show could not be possible. So connect with us. There's incredible packages for people that will like to have being mentioned here on the LizyT Show. So do so, connect with us, and we can work something out. Whether it's gonna be cold again, it is Canada, it is February, and yes, we're gonna hit some. We're gonna hit the minuses and the snow. So all that little break that we had, just a little while, it's all bye bye, and real weather, real winter, real Canada is coming. So hopefully you enjoy it because I definitely did myself. Also, last but not least, if you're a singer-songwriter, you have that beautiful song that you just have written or you've sent out to Spotify or all of this platform, you would like to perform it here. We miss the musicians that are out there. I remember we had tons. We have contests, online contests during the pandemic, during COVID season. We would like to have this again. So if you're a singer, we definitely love to have you here in this platform, love to have you on the stage, and love to cheer you up and get the people know about your music, your craft, your creation. So do not hesitate. Music is part of the LizyT Show as well, whether it's gospel, rap, jazz, it doesn't matter as long as the lyric is clean, pure rated. We do not play profanity here, but other than that, we love to have you. Without further ado, everyone, I love to show you and have with us an incredible person. As you can see from the screen, we're having Kenneth Wilson today. He is a native and resident of Silver Spring, MD. For over 20 years, he have worked in areas entrepreneurship, mentoring, community advocacy, and he have a position and a very high corporate level. He has also worked with individuals, groups, and family, and all ages, background, ethnic group. He's a consultant and a specialist and development political strategy. Wow. And community safety. He is a home and at home and a proud husband of 3 children. Oh, love it. Love it. Definitely been a father. It inspires us to do what we do best. So let's welcome him to the stage with a wonderful. Hello, Kenneth or Ken. I'm not sure what you go about. Welcome virtually to Canada. Welcome to the LizyT Show. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. You can call me Ken.
Ken is good. Awesome.
People call me whatever. As long as it's positive, I can deal with it. But thank you for having me. I'm glad to be there virtually in Canada. I would love to get there in person.
Yes,
So
you never
yeah,
we've been having so many people from the state that, believe it or not, have never been to Canada, which I find that hard to believe. We Canadians go to the States. I mean, Florida is the place to go to, especially for us Canadian cold winters, harsh winters. So, Florida is the place that we go to, and also Niagara Falls, obviously on the other side. But yeah, we definitely travel a lot more to the states that you Americans travel to Canada. So that needs to be changed, especially for Sugar Ray groups. I mean, we need to have you guys here. What's the weather like in? You are in
I'm
what
in
state
Maryland.
right now?
Yeah,
Maryland.
so I
What's
live
the
in
weather like?
Maryland. Yeah, I'm like 15 minutes right outside of Washington D.C. We got a little snow here, but the thing about Maryland in this area, a little bit of snow shuts the city down. Okay, so there was a little fear of a little snow this morning. Schools were delayed and all kinds of stuff. It ended up not being anything. Like it's clear outside now. Like I think like two
Well,
snowflakes up. Yeah,
once you experience the snow that we get here in Canada, you probably will say that is nothing. But I guess we're more prepared because we have this every year. We know what it's like, the 20 inches of snow and so forth. So that we have cars that are ready for that. We have winter tires, warmers in our radiators so they don't freeze. So
yeah.
it's natural for us to expect that thing. For you guys, definitely is a novelty, and guys don't know how to handle. Oh no, the cars
I
are
know.
stuck. But for us, is he's walk in the park.
See, we need to learn from y'all because yeah, it's a struggle down here.
So can tell us a little bit about your life as an entrepreneur, because you are corporate still, but you also have the business, and you also have the consulting. You also have the community work. How did you get involved in doing both things, and what inspired you really to be able to have those two passions?
Yeah, so this is a tough question because I don't sit still, so I wouldn't consider myself corporate, but my roots are in entrepreneurship. They come from helping people. So currently, I'm the founder and CEO of an organization called Men of Stature. And all we do is provide services, safe spaces, different initiatives for Black men. So just trying to help the men in our community come together. We do a lot with literacy because, of course, I'm also an author. So we do a lot, especially with young people in literacy. We actually launched a holiday, National Black Men Day, which started last year, every year, September 26th. And we use that day as just a day to promote the positive Black men in our families and our communities. So we do lots of those things. We do safe spaces, support groups, just anything that can just help empower each other. So those roots just came back from my years of mentoring, just helping people. I also do a lot of work in community safety, and that involves teaching, that involves some advocacy there, that involves um, helping plan different policies and working with groups to just how do we advance the missions forward? How do we teach people, how to help each other, how to be safer, emergency preparedness, emergency preparedness in the workplace, all of those different things too. Um, and then I still dabble in politics a little bit. So that started with just an interest. Currently managing a campaign right now. I've done those things in the past, um, campaigns, finances, and stuff like that. And that goes back to my roots just in nonprofits and really the corporate side that I did in nonprofits for years. And I write books on the side, and I try to do artsy stuff too.
Wow, wow, multifaceted. Now, the helping literacy and helping the more less fortunate, or community, is that something that inspire you from something that you saw, or even your life or your background or where you live? What did that came from? Because a lot of us have um, that necessity or that need of helping others because things happen to us, and
Oh,
definitely as a Christian and as a believer, or as a person of faith, you don't want anybody to go through things that you've gone through, and that's why you teach, you give, and you give, and you step forward and help. So tell us a little bit, why is this passion of yours helping the community? And believe it or not, this is a simple question, but a lot of people that even go through trials and tribulation, they could care less about the others. I mean, I have my own things to deal. I can deal with somebody else or help somebody else, and they just that is just as that. Somebody else is going to come out, and that's when you and me and many others, especially in Sugar Ray community, that's what we do. We help our community because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I guess for me, it's the story of, you grow up in the hood, and I grew up in one of those hoods, so to say. So you see a lot growing up, and you get to a point where you can say, for me, it was like I don't want to grow up like that. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to live that hard life. I don't want to go through those things. And I had my struggles too growing up, but for me, it was like, okay, I was able to, I figured once you start learning and gaining knowledge, and it's like, what are we doing this for? I could be sharing this with other people. How can I help someone else out? And so I felt blessed that I was able to kind of advance, and I always just wanted to give back. It started with children. I just saw the kids, and it was like, who's guiding these children? Who's there for them? Who's mentoring? So once I really learned about mentoring, and I think I was about like a senior in high school when I first learned of that concept, and I was actually approached by older guys who taught me how to do this and give back to young people. And so once that opened my eyes to, oh, we can actually help people directly and just pour into them, I was sold. I was hooked. It's a passion. And so everything I do kind of goes back to the roots of, what are we doing to help? And so because I take that and how can I, think outside the box in non-traditional ways to help. So I'm always trying to figure out different ways, what works, what doesn't work, what are the needs, what do people really need out here, which means you got to be in there entrenched with people. So I'm always just trying to figure those things out. But that's where it comes from. Just, you see the things going on in life, and it's like, what can you change? How can I change that?
Love it. One thing I love what you said is about once in high school, when somebody or when you discover what mentoring was all about, you got hooked. And that is exactly what happened to me and to many of us that do care, that that you have in your case, you lived in the hood, what the difficulties that everyone go through, and you have that opportunity to say, others can do better, others can take from my lessons learned, others can benefit from my mistakes, others can move forward and do something of themselves. I think that is beautiful, and good for you for listening to that voice and listening to uh, that, wanting to help and not leave it for others. You take that initiative, and that's really what mentoring is all about. And I'm glad that you're hooked, because I'm pretty sure that people that you have mentored or that you have coached or people that you have helped, they can look back and say, if it wasn't for Can, if it wasn't for that word, if it wasn't for that advice, if it wasn't for that coaching, for that mentoring, I probably wouldn't be here today. I probably would be doing other things. I probably would be destroying my life, doing things that are not beneficial to me. So you should take a lot of pride and congratulations, because there's probably one or two and maybe more people that can look back and say, Can did a made a difference in my life. And that's really what it's all about, making a difference in someone's life. So I'm hope that you keep getting hooked and doing this to benefit our fellow human being. That is incredible. So you are a writer. Out of all the things that you do, having your full-time career and mentoring and coaching, and now here you are, an author. Can you tell us a little bit about the name of the book, and also what inspired you to write that book?
Um, so to date, I guess I have 8 bestsellers. Um, and so the first one really started. I started a magazine years ago called BMV, and it was really going back to the roots of just like connecting with Black men, sharing stories and stuff. And I met a guy named PK Kersey out in Brooklyn, my guy, and he had written his first book, and I interviewed him for his book, and we just connected. Doing the interview, we just connected. Great guy. And he contacted me a couple months later. He said, "I'm doing another one. Would you like to join?" And I had never thought about writing a book before. It's one of those things you kind of hear about, like, and it's like off in the sky, and it's like, oh, experts and people like that write books. And but when I was presented with the opportunity, it was intriguing for me. And so, almost without hesitation, it was like, yeah, let's try it. Okay, let's go. And just going through the process, right? And connecting with the other men in the book and learning how it works in the business of books, and just realizing that, hey, it's not just physical acts of helping, but your words, your knowledge, you can still pass that on. And those things will be here long after I'm gone. And so for me, it was a way, it's another way of giving back. It's another way of helping. And I look at it that way. And so it's, again, taking the knowledge, taking the experience, and now I can put it in a different form, so it's written now, it's there. So again, gets me hooked on that, So here we are, 8 of these later, probably 2 more this year, and it's the journey with that too. We've come across so many great people, just in the author community, and just the support
Yes.
there. So those things they really fascinate me. They
Yes.
they really keep me going. So it's like it's multi-layered for me. It's not just about writing, it's also fellowship, camaraderie, support, networking that comes along with all these projects. So as I've
Wow.
helped other people collab, I've put out my own. I enjoy it so much now.
I can imagine. And by the way, thank you so much, Monica Nancy Earl Semple. We had her yesterday on the
Yeah,
show. Thank you for saying hello. That means a lot to us. One of the things that a lot of people don't realize that a book is actually a legacy.
yeah,
Anything can go, anything. Like you could, once you pass, your clothing it gets donated, your jewelry gets sold, everything. But a book is a business card in steroid,
yeah,
literally. Is so important because that's gonna go forever. It's gonna go through your family and your friends. This is definitely something that a lot of us don't think how important it is to write your thoughts, your experiences, your trials and tribulation, your tips. It is a must. I think everybody has a book inside of them. Um, Website. I just wanted to make sure that you tell us where can people get your books.
Oh yeah. On my website, I call it the bookstore. So if you go, it's my name. It's www.kennethrwilson.com. You can find all the books there listed. You can purchase them directly from the website, and then the other things that are going on too. So that's going to be the best way to find it.
Awesome. So, for you that are watching us right now, I do not like to make mistakes. So, I want to make sure that you get it right here. So, you will see it on the screen right there. So, this is the bookstore that he's talking about, my bookstore. And wow, they're all bestseller. This is isn't not about me. Is that the name of
Yeah,
the
it's
book?
not about me. Yeah, and shout out to visionary author Charles Woods. That actually came out this Saturday.
Wow.
Made bestseller this Saturday. Yeah, so that's the brand new one there.
That's awesome, awesome. Black Woman Love,
Yeah, so
also number 1 bestseller.
yeah, so yeah,
Awesome, awesome. The Impact of Influence, volume 6.
yeah. So those are some of the collab books. The Impact of Influence. Shout out to my guy Chip Baker. He's the visionary of those, and he's put out I think 7 of these at this point.
I think actually I had him on the show as well. He's an
Yeah,
incredible person. I follow him. It's always active. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Concrete Connection, solid relationship that last. Also number 1 bestseller. And The Winning Mindset. My
yeah,
goodness. Black Men Love, The Impact of Influence. This is volume 2. And Suited for Success, volume 2. Wow, congratulations, Ken. This is very, very impressive. And I guess, I mean, this is not it. I mean, we have the very last one and a lot more to come. This is his website, by the way, everyone. And there is the beautiful, by the way, good pictures. Awesome, very professional. And you could see here all that he does as well. So you also have yourself your very own podcast, or you usually in somebody else's podcast?
No, I actually host two of them there. So we do the Positive Isn't Popular podcast, which is
Mhm.
pretty much we're trying to find different topics and inspiration to help uplift and talk about the Black community. So just ways that we can educate on certain topics, bringing on certain guests. We promote certain things, again, going back to literacy, going back to positivity. The philosophy is there is that really positive isn't popular. And if you look at our world, especially our media, we throw out all the different things, the negative parts of the culture, all that stuff. So this is just a spin in how can we promote and maintain the positive things in Black culture, and we have a little bit of fun doing it. And then education is the key. That is a podcast all on education, So my co-host they're two educators, and we talk about the challenges and the issues of the education system when it involves the Black and brown people, and everything there from the structure, the system, advocacy, parenting, and we keep that going too. So I talk too much, so I had to put it in podcast form, I guess. But again, trying to find different ways to help.
Of course, and this is definitely a plus because nowadays I've seen many people having podcasts, and it really helps. People don't have as much time reading, but they definitely are multitasking. They're doing, especially for us women, we cook, we clean, we listen to a podcast. Sometimes we're even doing a podcast while we're cooking and cleaning and
Yeah.
working and taking care of the kids. So absolutely, this is the best way of reaching to people. And thanks again, Monica, for saying he is amazing. I agree with
Oh,
you 1,000,000%, and hearts to you as well. You are also amazing, so don't
yeah,
kid
Monica, that's my
yourself.
girl.
She
She
is
is amazing.
incredible.
Yeah.
She is incredible. So, what days do you usually have the podcast, Ken?
So Positive Isn't Popular. We record that. That comes out every Tuesday. And then we also do different branches there. Education is the Key is released every other Thursday. And so right now we're in season 2 of that. So um and then we'll do one off. Sometimes we do things on Instagram Live. Sometimes we do different interviews we'll put out on Fridays. So just trying to find different ways and content.
Mm-hmm. To you, by the way, if you are watching or listening later on as well, if you're interested in connecting with Kenneth as well for your podcast, just reach out because we're always looking for people that have incredible stories and incredible lives. So definitely is a must. So, what are you working on other than another book? I mean, what are your plans for? I know that you have many things going on. So give us, and that's the theme of the show, tell us who you are, what you do. You're given a broader idea of what you do. Contact info is there, everyone, the website, anything new. What are the
Uh,
plans for future?
well, yeah, I see there on the screen that we're going through my seminar tour, which I call the 3D seminar tour, which revolves around the three basic principles that I kind of use, which is we dream, dare, and discipline. And so how we use those and intertwine in our life and motivation, and not even just in business and entrepreneurship, but also in our personal lives. And so working on a multi-city tour there throughout the year. So here in the hometown, Baltimore, I'll be in Tampa, I'll be in Houston. I'll probably be heading up to the Midwest at some point later this year. And so it's just the same concept of just reaching and connecting and sharing this information. I still teach and train, especially in a lot when I talk about community safety, and that involves everything from the basic classes of CPR and first aid to the more advanced classes for doctors and nurses and home stuff, business stuff. So I do about 400 of those a year, conferences, things like that. So that keeps me pretty busy as well, which in the, just expertise in that area, the books and stuff like that. And then my organization, Men of Stature, I can tell you, actually, this week is actually our program is called Black Men Read Week. And so we use this week, the second week of February, to promote literacy in the Black community. And so there's different activities going on at some of the schools around the country. We got some virtual stuff going on, and we're trying to encourage people to just promote literacy. Talk about your favorite book. If you got children, read to your children one night this week. Read a book, pick up something, a book, an article, something, just to help expand our minds through literacy. And so that's going on. Actually, this week it ends on Friday. And outside of those things, if you look, that's why my office looks crazy, but we're actually in the beginning stages of filming a documentary. And
Wow.
that documentary is talking about um, the connections between Black men and mental health. And so that's going to be another project that we're working on, hopefully throughout the year. Hopefully that'll be out early next year. And so just me and my love of like film and getting passionate about that. And so that's what we're starting to work on, build on there.
I am tired. There's so much. I'm just like, can we rest now? And you have so many things going on. I don't know how you do it, but that is incredible. One thing I wanted to touch up before we talked about other things. Okay, I have a lot of questions, but one of the things that you touched and it really resonated with me is about read to your kids. I remember what my girls are in their late mid 20s, and but when they were little, one of the things that I love to do is read to them, and that's how I came about even starting this show. It's 7 years ago, is through reading to them. It was
Yeah.
it's just kind of dawned on me how I left my dream behind through a book that I was reading to them and not being fulfilled. It led me to do this, and here I am 7 years later. But I remember thinking that the part of reading is such a special connection between your child. Nevertheless, that you are bonding, that you are teaching, but you also making them aware, having that bigger vocabulary, just like you said, and knowing famous authors, people that are influential to their life. And I remember talking to friends of theirs and asking them, "Who is your favorite author?" And they were looking at me like, "What is an author?" And I'm like, "Oh no, your parents don't read to you." But it's important. They're both very successful professional, but this is because we installed in them the reading is very, very important. And my oldest one was reading very thick, long, and very controversial and difficult books to read, but this is because we did it when they were babies. So it is
Yeah.
so important, everyone. If you're listening to Ken, it's so important. Even if it's an article, even if it's something that you think is not going to have value, trust
Yeah.
me, later on it does.
And
The
one of the
idea
things
of
I just want to throw out there too, because one of the things we do, especially with our young people, our young men, is that we use literacy to connect to the things in their everyday lives. So I know sometimes it's hard for young people to just, it's not cool to pick up a book sometimes, it's not
Mhm.
promoted. So we do with our program is we find things that they like. Music is a big example of that. A lot of
Yes.
kids, they can spew song lyrics, and we connect the dots to say, hey, you're actually reading that. That was a form of reading. Reading, reciting those lyrics, you can now recite them, you can talk, you can sing them, you can rap them, whatever. That's a form of literacy there. And so we use those different tools and thought patterns to try to promote this side. And so I encourage everyone, those are different things that we all can do as well too. I know sometimes I've heard this from other kids, books can be intimidating. Sometimes they be hard, but we can start somewhere. So to start with the little things around you, and you'd be surprised again how your vocabulary, how things grow inside of you just from reading something.
Absolutely, absolutely. Love that. And yes, it really resonated with me. So I had to say something. The other thing that I noticed too about your seminar, the idea and the inspiration, again, is all about giving back and contributing. But I love the 3 Ds, dare, dream, and what was the other D?
Discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Wow. That's one of the things that I'm guilty of it. I should have more of it, but definitely it is a must in everything that you do. So how the 3 Ds came and what inspired you to run this workshop?
Well, I because in my personal journey, trying to because I get asked these questions all the time, and it's like, how do I articulate my thought process, my work ethic? Like, how do as you guys probably tell, there's a lot going on in my head. I do a lot. Everyone tells me I should sit down sometimes, right? But so I had to try to figure out what does that look like within me, right? So it took some time, and those are the three words that kept coming up. And so for me, dream is about the vision. What is what are your goals? What is your dream? What do you want to do? Dare is taking the step to start. And so I use the word dare intentionally because if you think about the word dare, like you got to be dared to do something. A dare is like someone's like pushing you, forcing you. And so sometimes you have to dare yourself. Dare to take the first step, dare to start. Sometimes that first step is the hardest. So you got to get yourself ready and prepare your mind to actually want to take that step. You got to motivate yourself sometimes. And then the discipline is, how you keep it going, how you sustain it. And so sometimes you have to make sacrifices. Sometimes you have to put systems in place for yourself. Sometimes you have to be able to make different directions and pivots and different decisions. And that's where the discipline inside of you comes in. And so those three pillars, are kind of like the foundational pillars for myself. And that's how I operate.
It's you know what? I've interviewed so many people that I've never heard anything like that. It's just it's a given. It's like, yeah, duh, everybody should have thought about this. But the way that you put it together, it's lovely. And I am so hooked that this is something that everyone that I'm gonna be using myself because I should have thought of that, and I'm glad that you're here to help us. And sometime I just do the show for me because this is incredible. Absolutely, to dream and is to motivate ourselves. I remember having a long time ago. I don't call it the vision board. I just call it the dream wall. Things that I wanted to work towards, and the dare. I love it because I'm gonna have to start one day or another because it's isn't there. I glue a picture and and I make my girls do exactly the same thing. And to have the discipline to actually start it and follow through, those are very, very important. And anything that you do, whether you're writing a book, where you're starting your business, where you uh, putting yourself through a workout regime, where you are doing it, it's challenging, but the 3Ds are definitely going to help you. So this is coming up when, Ken?
So we've already gotten started a little bit. So I got some dates. I know next month, late March, I'll be in Tampa, Florida.
Yes.
In April, I'll be out in Houston actually with Sugar Ray and Chip Baker. So doing things out there, doing the tour out there. I think early May I'll be in Baltimore up at Morgan State University. And then, second half of the year, we'll probably put some dates together too. But for me, it was just kind of, I had to formulate this platform and get those thoughts together and put it in a way where I could actually like share it and so that other people could digest it. So this is something that I plan to continue, maybe for a couple years just to keep going, just something that I can continue to share with people.
Love it. Love it. So going back to you that mentioned that you're from the hood and now you're here successful, and I see you successful because you're accomplishing things that you have put yourself to do. And obviously there's a lot more where that came from. I can see there's a lot more things that you have that you're working towards. And for people that see you back then and they're watching you now in Canada, they're seeing your workshops, they're seeing all of your books, what is the feedback, what is the response? I'm pretty sure they're amazing, but I just love to hear comments of friends or even family members, people that saw you then and now they're seeing you now.
Um, well, I'm pretty sure people are proud. I think the running joke around here is that like, um, this is who I am. I've always been like this. I've always, always pushing forward, always trying to figure things out. And so for the people who really know me, they kind of get it. I think sometimes they have the same sentiment of like, we can't keep up. We do too much. I had a conversation with my friend yesterday. They're trying to get me to slow down. They're like, you're getting old. You got to slow down. But so I do believe people proud. I do believe everyone's appreciative of the work. And another thing I've always tried to do is provide opportunities for the people around me. And so I don't like to do things alone. I want my friends, my people, my family. How can I get them involved? So even writing, most of my friends around me are best-selling authors now too. Um, just participating in some of the things we do. Come volunteer, come get involved. So, they kind of get to experience it too. I want to bring them along for the ride. My daughters, the same thing. Like, they get involved. We volunteer. You're going to volunteer in this stuff. Now they want to write a children's book. So now I got to figure that
Yay!
out too. so you know, I do think about those things. When friends, like I said, most of my friends, when they in contact with me, it's we're doing something. And sometimes we do hang out and things like that. But I like to get folks involved because I know some of these things. It's not that people don't want to do stuff; it's that they've never thought about doing these things. Like I said, we all got our own lives. Everybody's all over the place. And they're doing their things and they're doing great stuff too. Um, but maybe think about this over here too. Maybe think about helping someone. Maybe think about volunteering. How can you get involved? And so I kind of use those things to even help connect the dots with the people around me.
One thing I noticed too is that the feedback is probably incredible, not because you are from the hood, it's because you are contagious. And listening to you, you are miles per hour here. You are nonstop and kind of the bunny, the bunny. The battery doesn't run out with you. Maybe it does when you go to sleep, but the fact that your family and your daughters volunteer and now they're thinking of writing a book, you have definitely shown them a good influence. You've given them a good influence. You're showing them the path. And that's one of the greatest satisfaction as a parent is when they're doing things or they're saying things that resembles what you said, or not that they're going to give you any credit, and which you're okay with that, right? We're okay.
Yeah,
That came from me, but that's okay. You could
yeah.
do it.
I
So
just want them to grow.
yeah, it's the greatest satisfaction is to see your kids, to see someone come around, and someone that was this and now is that, glowing and being fulfilled. So to us, that is the greatest pay. Obviously, we do need the pay as well, but having that satisfaction that you help someone, that you move, especially at home. I think the home is the hardest.
Yeah,
When your own kids look at you and them like you give so much to somebody else, what about me? And sometimes we have to pull back and be stationary and okay, I need to take care of at home. And I know exactly what it's like because I go through exactly the same thing. You help everybody else, but I need help too. So that's one of the things that we have to kind of toggle and work towards the balance. This is awesome. You're incredible. I know that you were going to be this type of person, but I had no idea that it is so much. For somebody who is watching us today, tomorrow, this is recorded in my YouTube channel. What are the words of advice that you would give um, to start writing their book, B, having their own business, or even another question, having you on their stage or on their platform or their business for you to be able to coach, train, or mentor?
So yeah, I'll start with I think it's just don't be afraid to fail. Like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. I think I really believe there's things that we all want to do, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's starting a book and things like that. But we got to get out of our own heads first. I think most of the times it's us that stops us, and it's easy to convince yourself not to do it. It's easy to find a lot of different factors and excuses not to try something. But don't be afraid to take that step. And I think if you're willing to do that, if you can get yourself to that point, the world is open for you, you know? And so I think let's start there. Any fears, and I've always found that too. Even sometimes, I try stuff and you never know how it's gonna go. But once I take that step, I always say to myself, oh, it wasn't that bad. It always comes back to that for me. I'll start something, then I'll do it. I'm like, oh, why didn't I do this before? It wasn't that bad. What was I scared of? What was I afraid of? So sometimes we just got to take that step. So that's the advice I would give. And then, I mean, if you're looking for me, I'm really easy to find, to be honest with you. So you can just reach out if you go to my website, email, my website, kennethrwilson.com. You can always reach out there. There's a contact page there. Emails, it's me. It's again, kennywilson65 at gmail.com. If you're on social media, My handle's pretty much the same on all of them: Instagram, Facebook, X, I guess we call it now. LinkedIn is all at Mr. Kenneth Wilson, all one word. So reach out. I like to communicate. It doesn't have to be formal. Say hello, who you are. Let's talk. Let's chat. We figure it out. That's what I'm about.
Beautiful. One thing I love about what you said is, and I've heard it different ways, but I love the way you're saying it is, don't be afraid to start or to fail, and you have to be getting away out of your head. And that is so important what you said. There's a lot of things that we don't do and we don't start because we are so sure that is not going to work.
Yeah.
And we start sabotaging ourselves from the get-go. I'm going to start, but I know it's not going to work. And I'm very guilty of it myself. I never believed that my podcast, my online show would even go anywhere. And I thought I'm going to do it just to say that I did it because it's not going to work. And here I am more than 7 years later. So I am proof that if you do it, just do it because you have to try. And if you fail, great. If you don't, but don't sabotage yourself. Get
Yeah.
away from your head and just um to start something. I think that was the most important. If you didn't get anything else, everyone, this is a golden nugget right here. This is the pièce of resistance. It is so important that what you said, that it can help anyone, whether you're going to start that book, where you're going to start the songwriting, or even that business. So this is gold. This is gold. Love it. And again, if you want to reach out to him, the website is right in front of you and right underneath here, and the email is, again, it's right in here. So do not hesitate to connect with Ken. He's lovely, and as you can see, very easy, nothing formal. All we're all friends here. Nothing to be afraid of. We don't bite.
No.
So just connect. Just connect.
Yeah. I'm about
It's
family.
been
Yeah.
it's been an honor and a pleasure. I know that you have millions of things going on today, and I appreciate you fitting in. I know it was going to be a little bit, half an hour, so will be a little longer, but it was worth it because there's lots to talk. Your life is, wow, incredible. Congratulations on your coming training. Congratulations on your new book that you're launching. And wow, the sky's the limit for you, definitely.
Oh, thank you, and I just appreciate having the platform. Um, it is hard. It is hard, and I give you credit for doing what you're doing. And even as I'm looking, I'm taking notes on what you got going on there. I might contact you about some notes and broadcasting and stuff too. So, um, I appreciate just having me on. And like I said, if you come across my path, we're family now. That's just how I feel.
Yes, I was just gonna say, Sugar Ray has connected us, and this workshop has definitely brought us together. Canada and the U.S. and
Right.
brothers and sisters there are becoming more than just learning through Sugar Ray. Has become an incredible community. I'm very thankful for what he's put together, and to meet incredible people like yourself with incredible stories and incredible lives, and which it's making me grow. And I'm hoping that you that are watching today, tomorrow, is making you grow. So anything that you've gotten for here, let me know. Let me know where you watch from. Let me know from what part of the world you are. And if you connect with them, one person that can connect with Ken. I mean, we know that not everybody's going to like Lizzie, and Liz is not going to like everyone. But one person that connect with Ken, hey, that's all I need. I'm fulfilled, and this is really what I do it for. Thank you, Ken. It's been a pleasure and honor for your presence here, for all your expertise and everything that you've done, and keep up the good work.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you soon with another guest, and have an amazing, blessed evening, everyone. Bye bye for now. Bye, Ken.
Bye. Take care.